Music.
back on. What's that? Sorry.
What was with the music?
Before
Yeah.
that was just the music. That's just my playlist playing.
Oh, you don't want to get DCMI, man.
I know this is going to be an issue we're going to have, so we're going to have to do some stripping that out. So apologies to everyone there. For some reason, my Spotify.
Can we check that that I can be heard?
Can anyone actually hear Brett?
And do you want to go back because you're currently on the game? You're not in the actual.
Yep.
Spoilers.
So Karen, can you hear Brett now?
Can I be heard? That's the big question. Oh, yeah, I can, and I'm quite loud.
Okay, I can turn you down a bit. Right. Okay, the levels are fine. So, we've gone through this deck briefly. So we're going to, just this your time, we're going to go through the Kangaphants in Austria.
Let's go for this one.
So we have, assume, double Inferno. So Inferno will be rotation along Imperium. That will double ward your creatures.
But the biggest threat, as Karen's quite pointed out, is the Science Officer Morpheus with Ingram, with Pharaoh Centaurian, with Infernus, with Rock Grub. It's going to do a lot of power. And you've also got the Favor Rex. And don't forget, Favor Rex can be used on opponent's creatures for your benefit. That is a beautiful card.
Yep. Sorry, this is just having a mind of its own today. Right. Are you still there, Brett?
Yeah, I'm still here. It's just shooting off. I can't... You ended the stream. I can't see what was going on.
No, I haven't.
I'm sort of a few seconds behind.
Right, so I've not ended the stream.
So we saw a Pharaoh Centaurian come down from Lorenzo turn 1, and then we've gone back.
Sorry, watch the Discord, Brett.
I watch your Discord, but
okay,
so for those that aren't aware, Science Officer Morpheus allows play abilities to be triggered twice. So in Furnace, you can purge up to 4 cards. Rock Group would purge up to lose 2 amber. Ingram would ward 2 creatures, and Pharaoh would capture 2. Odak would capture 2. It's Trisarian Legionary would ward 2 creatures. It's a very powerful card if you can keep it down. It can do a lot of, especially with the Infernuses on the Exhume. It's so good. As Karen said, Science Officer Morpheus needs to die in this deck. He is a high threat target.
So, right, let's get going to the actual meat of this now. Hopefully everything's going to be working. So, jumping a little bit too far ahead there.
Straight down. Gone straight back in.
Sorry, if I was you, I'd watch the Discord because that would be a few seconds ahead of the Twitch. Now it's sharing. So, here we go to the start of the round. If you see the starting hands that we have here, I'm pausing it while we go through the starting hands. So, we have a double Rock Grub, Imperium. Lair of the Lands. I can't remember that one, and a stealth mode on.
That's a Comms Officer Wells, a stealth mode, and Pharaoh Centaurian, which was played.
Yep.
Aquaro's got Humble, which allows you to exhaust a creature and remove up to 3 amber on it. The Pharosaurus, I can't remember his goddamn name. Boss Eric, Rad Penny, Old Bruno, and Ceresaurus, the fuzzy Gruin that got hench.
Yep. So let's get going. So we start off with what's the name down, and then I can't see what was that.
So that's the Neosaurus. That's the fight reap ability.
Yep. That was
so we've seen Lay of the Land come down, stealth mode, jumping into a Wells, and boom, straight through.
Yeah.
So we see Rad Penny goes for the steal, and that Rad Penny has a capture icon as well, which went onto Neosaurus.
Yep.
Beautifully done there. Plays Boss Eric. So pointing on Boss Eric. So spreading that elusive around, but plays the Old Bruno for not much value. Drops the Trisarian Legionary, warding up the Pharaoh Centaurian. Odak does capture 1, and Imperium wards up the Sorry, but look at this dishand!
Oh man, that's a shame. There's not probably enough to even purge at the moment. There's no amber to take off him, so we can't. Yeah, he's waiting for him to get something, so he's just playing.
Once get rid of the Elder Spare. So that was a quick turn. We saw a Mastermind who come down. We see Festering Touch get rid of Reckless Rizzo. We see do some extra damage, but this Mastermindery is going to get a counter each turn, and then on those turns, on your turn, you can action it and steal 1 for each counter on it while removing all the counters.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it as you're talking, Brett, because I think otherwise it's going to look fast. So that's one hell of a diss turn. Infernus is down 2 Rock Grubs.
So we see the Imperial Traitor, which gives the information to Aquario, and then we see a Reap up to 5.
So Furnace Reaps to get to 6. Then you
reach with the rock grubs to put them back into the archive. Plays them, uses the Infernus to fight, and plays the second Infernus, purging his own Not Finished for You and Festering Touch. Just goes for the Steel Reap and Reap. Gets to 6. Wants to sit. It looks like he's happy to sit on 6. But with this Saurian setup, 6 is not going to be enough.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, the key frog in place as well makes me wonder if there's... I don't know. We'll see where we go with this. So we're going to come into a Saurian turn at the bottom.
Well, so the Generate drops the Feral Centaurian.
Which makes sense. Doing the 1 capture, get the opponent off.
You're then going to fight. Yeah, you're going to fight with your Legion to probably into Key Frog to get off the board, or possibly get rid of the Mastermind so you can stop the steal action.
That would make sense. So it was just reaping at the moment though to do the, and then just reaping across the board to get to a 7.
And we see a Favour of Rex. Oh, with a Favour of Rex with an old Bruno down, it could be very dangerous here for Aquero because it captures from its own side.
Yeah.
Plays a Humble, uses it on the Niflate to get rid of the Amber and Niflate, but does not exalt the Dreadborn, so doesn't want to take out anything smaller. Could have got rid of Wells there. There's the Favour of Rex capturing 4 from Aquero's own side, and then fights into old Bruno to gets rid of the Boss Eric, then gets rid of the old Bruno. No, keep old Bruno around. Wow. But here we see Lorenzo 2 amber up and on a red, with Aquero only having 1 amber.
But then the board gets wiped by... What went the board?
That was a Savage Clash. It keeps your lowest creature and your opponent's biggest creature.
That was it,
but now, there's a Fandangle there with 5 amber and only... Yeah, it had to go sorry in there. Had to get rid of that Fandangle.
So it's an interesting... Well, it's the right time to have the board wiped when you've got a red alert in your hand, I suppose. So we've got Axum McGrisk coming with got a... Ooh. You're right. So
use it.
Akura's deck is just a nice deck of everything. I mean, it's not got amazing combos,
it's just
solid
good,
deck.
Consistent cards.
Yeah.
Lorenzo coming in with the Galactic Census to only gain 1, which is a bit of a shame. Red alert to wipe everything out. And what we saw last turn was Aquero using the Axios to pop the ward and then using Stomp to finish the job. And Aquero now catching up.
Oh, yeah.
Gets the key, only 3 amber behind, and is in a much stronger situation. We've got a massive Prefecture Ludo, but then we see a Lost in the Woods to get rid of them.
So it's 3 to 5 amber with 1 key apiece.
And there's the tribute. Doesn't exalt to reuse tribute, but wards up.
Well, why would you? You've only got 1, so.
Look at this hand with 2 rock grubs in the archive as well.
Oh, how's he going to do this? So the standard Shadows hand comes down there. Nothing too surprising given what he had. So how is he going to? Which order is he going to play it? Obsidian Forge.
Obsidian Forge keeps the rock grubs in the archive though, because seeing there's no point when he's got the Infernus to get rid of the Ember.
Yep.
Infernus is Lost in the Woods and spoils the battle. Nice choice. And now we see a Tertiate and a Patronage for Aquarius. So he's going to be able to deal with all the Amber that he's got captured. Patronage to get rid of 1. Yep. Play the Ludo. Then he's going to use Tertiate to get rid of 2 creatures, get rid of all the Amber that's captured, as well as steal 1. Because of the Dimorph destroyed ability.
Nice.
So it takes Lorenzo off the key and immediately redraws the bad penny. Look at that.
A rad penny, yeah. And then we got... It's not a disc turn. I thought it would be a disc turn this time.
No, if you've got Science Officer Morpheus, Grey, which allows you to archive 2 creatures, Wells, which lets you bring back 2 robots or upgrades, and Ingram, which wards 2 creatures, you're definitely going Star Alliance.
Oh, yeah. Ingram will go down and then ward Morpheus, I'm sure.
Yeah, you want Morpheus warded here.
There we go. So, that's pretty much the turn. There's not else with no cards in your hand. So what are we going to do to counter that from above, I wonder? So, Shadow's turn.
Shadow's turn because you can Booby Trap, pop, get rid of the... you can pop the ward. You can then... Ooh, gets rid of Grey. Nicely done there. And you can then take Aquero. You can take Lorenzo off check with the red penny.
Now we know that in his
so
archive...
much capture in this deck.
So...
There are 4 cards in Lorenzo's archive. They are all
Dis.
powerful discards.
2 Rock Grubs and Infernus. I can't remember the 4th one. Oh, Not Finished With You. Yeah.
Yeah. There's another full. We also see a Tachyon pulls a Force Field, another Galactic Census, and 2 Pharaohs. So it's safe to say he's gone through his deck very quickly as well.
Yep.
And here we see Aquero getting to 6 and having the Fandangos. It's a case of you need to stop me forging as well as get my Amber below 4 to stop me being able to pop off with this Fandango.
Well, there we go. Some quick death. So he's going to get...
go straight into Saurian and then drops. Very nicely done.
Another Saurian turn coming down from above. What's that just came out?
So that's a Dreadball, which is if a play, fight, exalt, you may destroy a creature that has lower power. That was used to destroy. The Bloodshard Imp, allowing him to reap for the other creatures and get to 12. So now is where you go dis. Oh no, Starlight is sacrificing the second key to get a bit to get themselves in a position where they can forge quickly as well.
So with Obsidian Forge, if one of the creatures you picked up is warded, does that still count towards the cost or not?
No, it has to be destroyed.
Yeah.
So we have just seen a 5 amber swing there from Aquero. We saw the Brad Penny come down with a capture and steal. Yep. We then saw Thief come down with a capture, and when we saw Bruno come down, and now Lorenzo answering in kind with 2 Grubs, Etrame.
But
not finished for you, Grubco.
Aquero now is on 2 keys to 1. I mean, I'm not sure if anyone missed that, but this will go pretty quickly. But this is going to be very interesting now because it's such.
Lorenzo sacrificed that second key to get on board here. What Lorenzo is hoping here is that his board sticks and he can get the Obsidian Forge win.
Yep.
But what we're going to see here is this Savage Clash is going to dash all hopes of that.
Yep. There we go.
Now, Elder Spell's going to come down. The second Savage Clash probably going to get held.
Yeah.
There it is. And now we're going to see Lorenzo has to go into this, has to bring back the Infernus. Yeah. And has to get him down to 4. Which we can see from the hand of Aquero. You go Shadows as you do here, and you just get yourself straight back up to 7.
Yeah.
We can see Lorenzo has no in hand, and this game got very slow towards the end because both players took their time, as they should, to make sure that they didn't make any mistakes. The speed of this game does not reflect how hard these players worked.
It's a lot easier to commentate when they're being slower.
Yeah. It's easier, but it's also a lot more boring. This is a lot faster. Yeah. So that's stuff. Well, there's Lorenzo playing it out.
And that's the game. So that was.
So the Kangaphants take game 1, and
yeah, keep going. I just paused it. The Kangaphants take game 1.
Kangaphants take game 1 with a strong display of mass mutation.
Oh god. Yes.
Yeah, there was no real combos in there. There was no. Like I've always said, this mass mutation reminds me of AOA, but with stronger cards. It's good. It has insane combos, but the best decks are the ones that are just good, consistent cards all the way through.
I look forward to seeing how this goes. I mean, that was.
Yeah. Well, when we were looking at decks, the chat was saying the Worlds Collide deck looked absolutely insane and overpowering, but we saw once. Aquero had control of the board, Lorenzo was struggling to take control back.
Yeah, it was a really good game to watch.
It really was, and both players played absolutely beautifully. There was a lot of connection issues and there was a lot of stuff going on there, and none of that's reflected in the actual stream though.
Well, we'll see where we're going. So moving on to the second game. So this is the same team, so it's Mass Mutation versus Worlds Collide. So we'll switch them around. So
this is just for me on YouTube. So I can cut them into individual games.
Yeah, this is... so we'll quickly go through the deck we have here. 1 second. I have managed to lose the chat. Okay, well, assuming Brett keep an eye on the chat for me.
Yeah, there's nobody chatting. It's all good.
So 7 of you watching, which is better than last week. So this is Rubbish Rubble's World Collides deck. So on here we have the Logos Saurian Shadows with a standard...
Hi, Kongi! Yeah, so...
and only 1 E-die, though, which is somewhat depressing, because I'm used to seeing 70 or so on a single deck. What do we read on this deck, then?
This one has got a lot of disruption value when it comes to getting hold of the keys. You've got the E-die, you've got Mimic Gel, which can have a lot of power here. You've got Information Exchange with Cutthroat Research, which means you've got Key Denial in Logos, too much to protect with running risk clocks. Key Forgery, which is always amazing. Another favourite Rex deck, as well as Rialto Gleam. So there's key cost increase and key denial going in here. And I was speaking to Roger Schubert before, and I was saying I want the Triumph win. I want a Triumph win on stream.
Yeah, that'd be good.
For those that aren't aware, Triumph is if your opponent has no creatures, exalt all of your creatures. If you've exalted 6 creatures this way, forge a key for free.
Yeah. It is...
which is absolutely amazing.
Have you ever actually pulled it off in your own games?
I've pulled it off with my double rigged lottery deck.
Yeah, so I've not managed to pull it off. I've got close a couple of times. I've got 5 creatures, but never could quite get the 6th one down.
Key of Darkness is probably the only one that I haven't been able to pull off in the decks I've got. But I need to go through that because I've probably now got Colosseum decks and all sorts that I don't have.
I've only seen Key of Darkness pull off once, and that beat me. It knocked me out of a tournament.
Now, this World's Clyde deck, the best card it can see in its opening hand is Treasure Map.
Oh, God,
yes. If Roger Schubert going first, he wants to see that Treasure Map.
Always. That's get an Amber Pip, and then 3 additional Amber if no other cards are played this turn.
I'm liking the fact that all these Saurian houses have got Ludo. We haven't seen one without Ludo so far.
Well, Ludo is that good. Wow, 3 Gateway to Disses on this one.
I'm more looking at the 3 Fangtooth Caverns.
I hadn't got that far yet with 3 Rapid Evolutions.
Yeah.
Two Infernuses. Oh God.
This is a really nice combination here because with the Rapid Evolution you can make your creatures not be the smallest, and you've got Key Frog, and if you can get the Amber correct with Key Frog and Fangtooth Cavern, that's going to be beautiful. You've got Opposition Research, you can stop your opponent reaping. You've got the Effervescent Principle. You've got Double Infernus there again. And you've got an Enhanced Relentless Creeper, which when you select this, it comes back to your hand.
God, well, this is going to be... it's one of these decks where if it all goes right, it will go amazing. If it all goes wrong, it will go terrible.
This Uchida deck does not care about its own creatures.
It has
the
creatures.
Essence Scale, the Gateway to Dis, Bouncing Deathquark, it doesn't care about its own creatures.
Never mind the Fangtooth Cavern, yeah.
Yeah, Fangtooth Caverns. The only creatures this one cares about are probably Key Frog and the Daughters. They're the only, if he can keep them alive, they will keep them alive.
Jeez. Right, let's get on and see the game then. I'm trying to remember how long you assigned for this. So one feedback.
This one's about 6 minutes. This is gonna be a quick one.
Well, that tells you who's going to win it, I think. Right, here we go. What the opening hand's like?
No, it doesn't. I'm not. It could be anyone.
Well, most importantly, to Roger Shrub at the bod, there's his treasure map.
Yeah, and how many cards are in that hand?
7.
So he's going first. Yes. Excellent.
And he's also got a second turn of dinosaurs going pretty sweetly as well there. So up above... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, we're seeing a favour of Rex, but we're not seeing any value straight away.
Yeah, but it's more the throughput. Up above is... what's Walking Nightmare do again?
Waking Nightmare it increases the key cost for every disc creature on the field, so that also includes your opponents. Luckily, it doesn't factor too much into this game, but it can factor in the future.
Yep. Okay, so we've hit play.
We're seeing a lot of power in removal, but we know we're not going to see. We see a immediate mulligan, and we see a Neurocypher with double pip damage, which is going to be really powerful against this treasure map.
Yeah. So here we go. Treasure map's been dropped.
Yeah, and then immediately drops a Neurocypher and takes both plays to 3, discards Effervescent Principle, and draws up to 7. Infernus, Inspector. Finchmaster's got a very strong hand here. We see the favourite X coming in Rialto Gleam, so the key cost goes up to 12, which doesn't make much difference. But we see a nice, strong Saurian board. Reaps for Daughter, plays Bouncing Deathquark to swap the Rialto Gleam, and immediately replaces the Daughter with the enhanced one. Gets to 6.
Yeah, so what we've got the follow up. So Reap and Reap. Is that Reap?
Reap and Reap. Then we see a Stomp.
Stomp, yeah.
And then we see the Phylax Strike to damage his own creature.
Curious.
The Raptor gets damaged. I think it was just to play the Amber.
Yeah.
Essence Scale comes down. Inspector comes down. Xenofiend comes down, which has destroyed Steel, and the Infernus decides not to take Roger off the key by purging his own nose siphon, sacrifices the key to get rid of the treasure map. Interesting choice. Hello, not tonight. Hello, KPL.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks for joining us. Telltale Vapors. Now we're going to see a Mimic Gel onto the Infernus, which means that Roger's going to have his own Infernus to purge cards from Finchmaster's deck. It's a very nice get. And it's a double Fangtooth Cavern.
Nice.
Bro, 2 of the 3 Fangtooth Caverns have been purged by Infernus there. That's beautiful.
One of them had a pip.
One of them had a capture. Well, but they both had pips and one had a capture.
Sorry, that was it, yeah. So, what we've got here. So, we've got the Untamed from Above. Glorious Attendant's going to come down as well.
Yeah. Glorious Attendant's come down and we see a double Rapid Evolution come down onto the Xeno Beast, which is now a big beast. And we see that it's an Amber Pip on the Relentless Creeper, which means that is a lot of Amber.
But there's an Eli down to increase the key cost with 2 things in the archive now.
Yep.
A couple of Titan Legionaries will come out, probably to flank Eddie.
Positron Bolt, the nice position of Glorious Attendant.
Yep, I've just talked about the wrong house. Jargongle goes down. What do we see go below Jargongle?
I missed it. I was looking at...
So it's this on top.
Now, this is a lovely combination where we've got the Relentless Creeper and the Essence Scale, because it just means that you can sack the Essence Scale, you can use Essence Scale to sack the Relentless Creeper and automatically ready up, but decides to go for the Inspector instead and purges the Legionary. Now, a Reaper of Xenofiend here would telegraph the Gateway to Dis, which unfortunately he can't do anything about. And then we see Infernus go down, and now we see Finchmaster commandingly in control of this game.
Oh yeah, 6-0, both on the key each. So we see Huggerman come down to capture the
captures one. Double fidget.
Always fun.
Now, Inky Gloom and Into the Night being used together means that Finchmaster cannot do anything with his creatures next turn, which he doesn't bother because standardized testing.
And he has no creatures.
Opposition Research comes down, no Reaping, and then we see a Munchling. So now, I like the fact that we've got Cutthroat Research and Information Exchange here. So if he gets to 8, Roger can still take him off the key here. Now, that was an interesting play by Finchmaster. He discarded the Mutagenic Serum, not going to 7, staying at 6, playing around this Ronnie Risclox. Does not want to give Ronnie Risclox here. Yeah, a 2-card Skippy Kong, that's correct. Finchmaster playing around Ronnie very well there. We see now TMTP and we see a key forgery.
But Fangtooth Cavern is now down, which is interesting. With a key frog, so he's going to forge the end of the turn. So we kind of
he's going to forge, which puts a lot of the cards that are in Roger's hand into a bad place. Yeah. Key forgery is a turn 2 late here. That would have been beautiful to see Key Frog wasted on that.
Yeah, but
hold the TMTP. That is now a chain. Red Hot Armor, Waking Nightmare, Gateway to Dis. The Furnace is going to take him down to 4. Yep. And then we see Inspector, Essence Scale the Inspector, purges the Titan Guardian, and readies and reaps with the Infernus. Yeah, Finchmaster in commanding control. Key ahead and on the same Amber.
So how do you do at this point? Do you do you just got to play the cards to get the Amber through.
Finchmaster did very well to play around Ronnie Risclox, knowing that was there. No Siphon again at the right time, just gets the Amber. And we can see it comes down to Key Forgery. Roger's hopes here is Wild Wormhole and Key Forgery.
Remind us of the Key Forgery wording.
So at the forge step, Finchmaster will select a house, and Roger will reveal a card from his hand at random. If it's of that house, then the key forgery is destroyed and the key isn't forged. Now, Shadows is a huge one here. If Finchmaster selected
he did.
Shadows and got Key to Darkness, the game is over. If you just select Logos, the game carries on. But Finchmaster in commanding control of that game.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Roger wasn't too far behind, but it was always behind.
That was just it.
Yeah.
It's something we're seeing here is Mass Mutation, once it gets rolling, is very hard to stop. It's once it's got its momentum going, you need to have a way of directly stopping it, because both these games, the mass mutation decks have just got snowballed out of control.
And as you said before, this is just like AOA used to be with COTA, which is if you got AOA going, it snowballed and took COTA out. But the problem with AOA was it's just so hard to get going with all the interrupts in COTA and Worlds Collide. But now Mass Mutation has counters for most of those interrupts. It can get the snowballs going and going and going. And I agree, this is why MM and AOA are probably the two favourite sets.
And you got to think, each house now has key cheats. Each house has got ways to stop and increase key costs. Each house has got archiving. Each house has got board wipes. It's when AOA came in, there wasn't as much interactability in each house. Each house kind of had its own distinct roles, whereas those lines are now starting to get a lot more blurred. Every house has got some form of disruption. Each house has got some kind of control. Mass Mutation takes full advantage of that, especially with the enhancement placements, because you can get untamed creatures with capture. You can, whereas in AOA, if you went untamed, you could kind of go, okay, I'm definitely getting this key because I've not played 3 creatures, and Lifeweb is your only way of stopping me.
Yeah, no, completely.
So
let's get on with the next one.
Yeah. I would love to get some feedback about these enhanced edited games. Please do let me know.
So here we see our first Mars. Admittedly, this is an AOA deck, which isn't too surprising to see that.
So you're saying this is the first time we're seeing Mars when the last 2 houses have been Worlds Collide and Mass Mutation.
Yeah, I didn't say there wasn't a good reason, such as Mars wasn't in the sets. Hey man, it's been a long Monday.
Double Eureka, double Helperbot, Neutron Shark, Archimedes. I'm liking that combination setup. If you can get a Ronnie Wrist Clocks next to Archimedes with a Neutron Shark, you're going to be doing some beautiful plays here. Miasma, Skeleton Key, Mars Needs Amber with Orbital Bombardment, Brainstem Antenna with a Mind Warper. This is and a Scientific Hack.
It's a lot going on there.
There's definitely a lot going on here. Titan Librarian. So this is a non-Jenka deck that's made it into the top 8.
Yep.
That's absolutely, yeah.
What can you say?
Throwing stars and whistling darts. If the opponent overextends, whistling darts with a Mars Needs Amber could be very devastating here.
I mean, it all could be. I mean, this is such a fascinating. And here we go on to the second deck from No Kangaphants and Austria 1, their AOA decks. Double bouncing Death Quark. Ouch!
Double Tesmal, double Nepenthe, Duskwitch,
double Glimmer.
Post Pixies. Post Pixies will always hold a special place in my heart, as it got me into the top 32 at the UK Vault Tour. I had many other cards in that deck, but the fact that nobody really knew how to play around Post Pixies at the time got me there.
Oh, Post Pixies is a great card, but you just have to know how it works. I mean, when I first saw it, I used it correctly, but I've never been able to do that again.
Interdimensional Graph could be huge here. Life Ward against a creature, against basically all the Amber control is based around creatures, and like the Mind Warper, the Ronnie Wrist Clocks, the Mars artifact that readies a creature each time you play a Mars creature. The Life Ward could be huge here, and Shadow of Disc could be absolutely huge here.
I think I'll go as far as saying just about all of them could be huge here.
No, this is very true. I mean, Yerk and Anguish to are very low momentum cards. Poke. If Poke could target your own creatures, it'd be much stronger. Song of Spring doesn't really do much here apart from Cycle the Duskwitch. The double Glimmer could be very nice. Again, as I was just talking about Lifeweb, we've got Amber Denial in Untamed.
Yeah, I mean, some very interesting decks. So, at the top here, Viper won the toss, is going first. At the bottom, we have Keto for Hamburg. So,
I'm going to talk about this now while I paused, because it's going to come up pretty much straight away. Mimicry and Eureka are bugged. It'll come up a little bit later on the stream, but you can't Mimicry a Eureka without going into manual mode, and it was a long discussion. It was something I brought up in the admin chat because Viper and the Kangaphants had already spoken to me and said, "Yeah, this is bugged," and I was like, "Okay, I'll have a plan in place but hopefully we won't need to do it. Then I saw these hands, and you'll see in the chat, I comment before he even takes his turn when I know he's going to do it.
So, yeah, I mean, this is... What actually happens when you do it? In what way is it bugged?
Nothing. It basically, you play Mimicry, and he goes, Viper used Mimicry. It's like, cool. To manual mode. So I used a random number generator from Google to roll 2 5-sided dice to decide which cards got archived.
Got it.
Which was the fairest way to do it.
Yeah, no, completely. So
but we'll get into that. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah,
the UK Games Expo was an amazing weekend, Kongi. I'm really gutted we didn't get to do it this time. I need to do some more organised play. I'm going a bit crazy just doing online.
Me too. I'm not even doing online anymore, man. I just don't have enough time. So I'm here to talk to you on a Monday night instead of playing.
Yeah, I mean, my online play's gone down a lot since I've been doing the editing. So
yeah, things get in the way. So let's see how we get started then.
So we should see a turn 1 lab work from Viper.
Yeah.
I'd have gone for the Glimmer, but it looks like he's gone for the Pandemonium. So there's Eureka. Archives up a couple of cards, but then it immediately passes because he lost the on there. And there we go. Here comes the chat of the Mimicry into the Eureka. So this is me and the Viper, and Keita Hamburg was trying to figure out what was going on. So there's the Mimicry play. Yeah, it was my first big tournament since I stopped playing Magic like 6 years ago. Before that, UK Games Expo was a lot of fun. It was my first time going to that event as well.
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. What about the Alpha and Eureka? Does Mimicry still let you do that?
Yeah, because Mimicry is the first card you play, and Mimicry becomes a copy of that card. So you haven't played anything before.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I get that. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So the 2 number was added, and then 2 cards were archived, which is what's been done there.
Yeah, Cam, we're all set.
And then we're going to see a Mammoth Swarm come down, and that's pretty much the end of the turn because Glimmer is still going to be there.
So Callum, I judge for another tournament every year at the Expo for the Star Trek Attack Wing, and yeah, the entire community in the UK, all 12 of them were upset we couldn't have our yearly nationals get together. It's the same people every year. But,
so we see an Igor come down. We're going to see a decision from the Igor. Brings in a Titan Guardian, which is a Titan Librarian, which is very good with the Pip there. Going to start the archive trim coming.
Just cycling through really at this point.
Archives up the Brainstem antenna, and we see the archives come out now. Drops the Glimmer, brings back the Mimicry. Going to drop the Life Wave to steal 2.
Yeah. There
you go. Drops Life for steals, gets to 7. Plays Nox. The Mimicry is going to get held, I imagine.
I'm not sure.
If you're Viper, you can see that you can Mimicry that Eureka again, and you can get a lot of value. Running this clock comes at the perfect time. Drops Viper down to 5.
The Nerve Blast to take out Glimmer, I guess.
That's what we see. Nerve Blast takes out Glimmer.
Steals another one, gets him to 5.
And now we see an Invasion Portal and a destroy them all. Destroy them all gets archived. Probably waiting for a much better setup rather than just destroying a creature.
Look at that.
And there we. But that was just a 1-turn play from Viper. Plays Eureka. Boom, done. Plays in his stash. Reaps. Makes Knuckle Bolton fight Mammoth Swarm. Reaps with his clocks. So we see the key get forged, which kills Mammoth Swarm because there's not enough amber to keep the power up. Shula comes down to steal 1. Shrek comes down to capture. So Viper trying to keep Keita Hamburg off this first key for as long as possible. And look at this hand!
Jesus Christ!
We see the Mars come down, and we see a Mars needs amber in hand, but what we don't see is enough amber to make it worthwhile. Destroy them all gets rid of Library of the Damned and Anguish. Not a bad choice because it takes Gub off the flank, which means it can no longer be protected, and it gets rid of the Anguish, which will be able to increase key costs.
So,
we see an Exterminate come down to get rid of Gub. And it gets rid of Ronnie. And holds the Mars needs Amber.
Well, there's nothing to damage on, so...
Well, there was Shrek before the second fight, but I think Keith Hamburg is hoping to get a stronger one. So we see a Pandemonium come down, does sacrifice some Amber from Viper's other side, but gets rid of, stops his key. And this is what Viper is trying to do, stop this key for as long as possible. We see a help bot into Miasma to get to 6. Mimicry copies Nerve Blast. If I'm Keita Hamburg, I know if you're playing a 1-turn Mimicry, then I know you've got Graft in hand. I know you're telegraphing Graft way too hard there. So what Keita Hamburg is doing here is trying to get to 6 without his opponent keeping Amber captured, and without basically allowing that Graft to get the true value it can achieve.
Yeah.
But the situation is now there's 2 creatures with 2 power, 2 creatures with 3 power. So standardized testing wipes the board. We see a Professor Sutkin come down, which can't be answered by Keith Hamburg's hand without popping that Invasion Sigil, and holds on to the double bouncing Death Quack. Very interesting. Plays Rika to gain 2, plays Scientific Hack, pass. We're going to see if Professor Sutkin actually reap for value.
That's not allowed.
That's
not allowed.
Look, you never let Sutkin live. It's an honorary witch.
A witch in all but name. Well, trait.
While Wormhole into Song of Spring, which allows to shuffle Glimmer back in, it gets to 9. We're not going to see much answers here, and the Martins Amber can now get some value, but can't get the value that they want because there's only 2 creatures.
But 6
Plays
to
Magic
8,
Hammer, captures one from the other side.
But can he stop the Forge though? He can only catch a 1, I think. No, he can't do that. So
Can't stop the Forge.
Second
So
there. Can we stop
yeah,
that?
this is your graft turn. It's not great. You're only grafting really for 1, but you're getting yourself to 5 when to get ready for a 3rd key when your opponent. But look at this hand: double Ronnie, Neutron Shark, Helper Bot, Skeleton Key, Scientific Hack. This is a huge board. This is a beautiful board.
It's a shame it's just half its turn early because yeah, you steal 2, but
If it comes down to Pose Pixies, if this Whistling Darts is wasted, which we might see, there it goes.
Yeah.
If this Pole Pixies can stay alive, this capture and steal is pointless because it's not going to actually dip into Viper's Amber.
That's another Ronnie's coming to the hand.
The only answer in the hand now to Pose Pixies and Duskwitch is Neutron Shark.
So but
which
what
is
else are you
kind
gonna
of
do?
nuts.
Yeah.
Double Glimmer and the Dare everywhere. Both of these players doing beautiful. Marvus, thanks for the raid.
Hi everyone who was on Mortiverse stream.
Yeah,
This is our weekly commentary of the 2 of the Coats 6
I
games.
hope everyone from Marvus stream had fun with the Tesla event, which now starts an hour earlier in the UK.
Yes. That is why people are actually here watching us today.
So, discards an Insect Shockworm, uses Scientific Hack. So, the Viper's only hope for there was that a Logos card was going to get discarded. Unfortunately, Viper was able to wipe the board of Post Pixies, Nepenthe, and Duskwitch.
You mean Keita Hamburg was able to wipe Vipers?
However, Glimmer into Life Web, which gets to 7.
Oh, God.
If Keita Hamburg did not have this Ronnie in hand, this game would be over. But there's the Ronnie, comes straight down.
Then a hidden stash to put the Eureka away.
Hidden stash to the lab work.
Oh, lab work. Yeah,
No, drops, hides the Mars card instead, reaps, drops Archive, goes there, and then drops a little Nif. We do see a second Glimmer in hand, but only 2 creatures were played. Unfortunately, there is nothing in Viper's hand that can actually finish this.
You can't get him off the 6.
So playing it out, gets to 7, shows that if he had a key charge, he'd win. But Keita Hamburg takes it, and that means that the Hamburg Atlanteans move on to the top 4.
I mean, that was another great game. I mean, the back and forth in itself was just entertaining to watch.
Definitely.
So yeah. So guys, we've got 10 minutes until we go on to our live draw. This is where I normally just take a couple of minute break before we move on. What do you think about our quicker streaming, our quicker videos? I think we're going to make them a little slower, but not too much slower.
Yeah, Chris, did you know that Marvus was able to get a Chonkers to plus 80 power?
Wow.
So Chonkers is a creature that says when it destroys a creature, double the amount of +1 counters on it, I believe. Or double its power.
That's insane.
And Marvus got it to 80.
Did you win out of interest?
It's not about the moral victory is what Marvus was after.
I think that's fair. I'm more curious at this point. I mean, did it cost him the game? But yeah, that's insane.
If you've got a screenshot, drop it in the Discord and let's have a look at that. But a lot of people talk about UK Games Expo. I had a lot of fun there. Apart from my son being admitted to hospital and me having to rush to Wigan after the Friday event.
They used to think you don't even live in Wigan, but yes.
No, he was staying with my mum in Wigan.
Yeah, I remember the story, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but the worst part of my UK Games Expo last year was getting to top 32, and then the guy that I drove up with, who had rushed me to the hospital to be with my son, knocked me out in the top 32. He then went on to the top 4, but that's regardless.
Yeah, well, so I loved day one. I went 4-2 with my daughter sitting next to me moaning for 6 hours. So the unlikely event I hadn't made it to day 2, I'm pretty sure I would not have been allowed because that was the day I promised I'd take her to the things she wanted to do.
So were you the guy that was on table 1 the entire time?
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, we played.
Yeah. Wow! I can't believe I've actually met you before then because I was the guy that was like sat 2 tables down from you in round 1.
Yeah, I remember. That's where I thought we met. You thought we met another time.
We have an origin story I didn't know about.
It's not a particularly exciting one. We sat two seats away and had a 5-minute chat before around the Keyforge. But yeah,
I'm glad to see Kongi got a win against George Kegel. But we'll have to get some sort of like Coat UK team event for the next like unofficial Keyforge event for the next UK Games Expo. Like,
yeah,
after the Friday or Saturday game, just raid a pub somewhere and just sit down and play for a little bit.
Well, if it's anything like the Spanish Vault Tour, and I've seen the other vaults as well, we all went to the pub at the end of the first day, and it was awesome. The main issue I had is I then had to go to the airport. So I had the second day, and then I went to the airport at 5 a.m. to get a flight. But yeah, it was awesome seeing able together, just talking crap, half Keyforge, half going, I'm fed up with this game. We're talking about something completely different. I met a lot of.
I was planning to go. I was planning to do more international events this year, but then everything fell apart.
Always the way, man. Yeah, this year has been a challenging year. I mean, I've only managed 2 Vault Tours in my career, but that's still more than a lot of people.
Nobody's complaining about the new editing system, so I'm gonna take that as good news. Yep. That people were able to keep up and that we weren't too boring because we've managed to keep our viewers. Usually we sort of dwindle throughout the stream as the games get longer and longer, but we've managed to keep people entertained today. So I'm taking this as a bit of a success.
That's definitely true, Brett. Right, we've got 5 minutes till the hour, so let's take a few minutes break, and I'll come on to go through the current standings in Coat 6. I don't really have a lot else to talk about, and then we can go from there, and we'll speak to you next week.
While we've got so many people, if you are interested in the commentary side of this, we are looking at taking on more people to do it. If you want to help us with deck evaluations, if you are fluent in a non-English language and would like to do some international international commentary for us that we will then put on our YouTube, let us know. Get in touch with us. We're going to try and expand this and get the community more involved into there. And yes, Kongi, Chris will go into the Keyforge quiz a little bit as part of what he's talking about in the next bit.
Yep, there will be, and if I don't, yell at me. But it's on my cliff notes, so it'll be there. All right, well, cheers, everyone.
Right. I'm going to bow out, and we'll leave you with Chris.
Cheers, and I will be back in a couple of minutes.